We're here today looking at deer scrapes. What we're going to do is look down around here, try and find some actual natural scrapes, and kind of talk about what to look for when you're looking for deer scrapes, what kind of areas you want to look for, where to find them. And then we're also going to look at doing some mock scrapes. So setting up your own mock scrape. Again, picking an area to put a mock scrape, and then the process of doing it. Scent control is very important. So I always make sure I've got a scent control base layer, some scent control layers on. Footwear is very important as well. Rubber boots are good, or I've got some scent blocker boots on here. And then also I make sure I spray myself down with some like a scent killer, cover scent, just to kind of make sure you're as scent free as possible. So this spot back in behind me here, this is a perfect area to look for deer scrapes. So this is a spot actually over the last few years I've been seeing deer scrapes in here every year. So it's an area that bucks seem to work a line of scrapes in here. And it's kind of just a perfect spot. So we're off a bigger clearing over here, lots of mature timber, lots of trails back and through here. And we've got this kind of grown up trail in here. So deer can kind of move through here very easily, but there's still lots of mature cover around. So it's kind of an ideal spot. So and along here there's a number of scrapes set up along this trail itself. So in this 100 yards, 150 yards, there's probably 3 or 4 different scrapes in here. And it's nice, it's open in here. It's a perfect spot. I've actually set up blinds off the side of this little path here, so it's somewhere that you can fairly easily hunt. You can set up over this line of scrapes and try and catch a buck kind of working these scrapes. There's another spot here that is typically a scrape that's worked up every year, again under a spruce tree, this one. So this is a spot we're going to make a mock scrape here. So this area, again, we're on this kind of little trail through here. So it's nice and open, you can see well in here, but lots of mature trees around here, lots of good cover. So it's a good spot, deer are moving through. We got lots of deer activity through here, lots of deer tracks through here. Most of the scrapes in this area that I find, the natural scrapes, are all under spruce trees. So we're going to set one up here, and then we'll do another one under a poplar. So this spot, the kind of elements we're looking for, it's on the edge of the trail, like we talked about, this good area here. We've got this licking branch, and it's probably 5.5, 6 feet off the ground right here. That's kind of what you want to look for, like 4.5 to 6 feet. And that's the deer is actually going to chew on that licking branch, depositing scent on it, and rub glands on that. We're going to do it right underneath the licking branch. So what I've got, you could use a full-size rake, you can use your boot. I like to have this little handheld gardening rake. So this spot here, it's very, very easy. If you had somewhere you have lots of tall grass or the edge of a field or wherever, lots of meadowy stuff, you can still do it. I like to cut the grass, tear it out, kind of expose that bare earth. In here, there's very little vegetation to even cut out of here. So I like to use a little rake, and we just use it, pull all the grass, sticks, leaves, everything away. I like to do it about 18 to 24 inches across, and in a bit of an inverted V, as if the buck's standing there pawing at the ground, pulling everything away. And the next thing I want to do is add some scent to it. So something like this, the Tink's Power Scrape, it's a mock scrape starter. It's a synthetic scent, so you have to make sure you use only synthetic deer scents in Ontario. But so this Power Scrape, just a mock scrape starter, you spray that up fairly liberally all around, get lots of good scent in here. So the next thing we're going to look at here is our licking branch. So we've got the scrape right down here, and then directly above the scrape, again we're probably 6 feet or so off the ground, we've got this branch. This is what we want to try and make our licking branch. So again, this is a bit different, using a spruce tree for this instead of maybe a poplar, but it's what they seem to be using in this little area. So you could leave it as is, and they'll just find something to chew on, usually chew on the end, and then rub their head on it, depositing some scent off glands on their head. I like to just kind of break the ends off, leave one kind of exposed end with a bit of a thicker branch. If they decide to use other stuff, so be it, but then they've kind of got one bigger end here that you can start chewing on, rubbing the glands on their head on, depositing scent on that. But above the licking branch is the scrape drip. What I do with this is fill it with synthetic scrape scent. So what that does, we'll fill this unit up, and this one will last probably up to a week. It'll just slowly throughout the day drip that scrape scent on the scrape, keeping that scrape fresh, keeping that fresh scent in the area. So you don't have to come in here freshen up your scrapes all the time, adding scent and disturbing the area. You can risk contaminating with human scent actions. So you have lots of deer activity through here, lots of deer tracks through here, lots of traffic. It's an area that over the last number of years I've had kind of good deer activity in here. So we know the deer are using this, which is an important thing where you want to put your scrape. The spot we're looking at right here, we're just off the side of the trail. So deer are going to be passing by, they're going to smell it, they're going to see it. We've got the perfect branch, it's coming down. and we're going to end up using this as our licking branch, right? What we're going to do here, lots of kind of grassy stuff in here. Just real quick, we'll tear some of that out of here. So the next thing we're going to do here is set up the licking branch. So we've got the scrape right down here, and then above it, maybe this is probably 5-6 feet off the ground. And this one, we're basically going to break off some of the kind of end branches there, just leaving this one exposed end. And that one's probably just a little bit smaller than the size of my pinky. So the last thing we're going to do here is use this scrape dripper. If you found somewhere you want to put a scrape, but you can't, or you're having a hard time finding a licking branch anywhere along there, you can actually make your own. So fairly quick thing, pair of clippers or break a branch off, bring a few zip ties along. So you can go cut a 5 foot section of a poplar tree. Again, the end maybe about the diameter of your pinky, and take that, strap it to a tree, tie it on, wire it on, zip tie it on, and then you can have it, set it up probably at an angle down like this is good, and hang it over your scrape. You can have it at the perfect height, set it that maybe 5.5 feet off the ground. So if you can't find a licking branch, easy way, just make your own.